Hey everybody, you are tuned into the Free Matt podcast. Um, Usually, I'm going to say we're a libertarian roundtable discussion. My usual co-host, General Patrick Flynn, he is actually doing well. I talked with him the other day. Made it finally. You could tell I made it back where I could talk with him and record. I have been out of pocket, if you want to say that, not prison pocket, which leads into a bad joke, which leads into the topic of discussion for this video. Um, Usually, I mentioned libertarian roundtable discussion. I try to bring up libertarian, libertarian slanted discussion. We'll have an article. I talk about city and local elections. We talk about personal responsibility, agency, things like that, accountability. And if you really want to try and spin into this one without my notes, but reading and listening to other people, a little late to the ball game, but still relevant for libertarian or people that are interested, is reputation. And this person who I am talking about today, many people call him Jack Murphy. I've called him that. Personally, I've had a neutral viewpoint about Jack Murphy. He runs the Liminal Order, which is a men's group. I have known of his work from podcast. He's made the news. He's been interviewed by several different people. As of lately, the opinion of him, what other people say, because of his actions and his words in regards to a very sensitive subject in his life, he chose poorly. He chose a bad tack to deal with it. And I wanted to say about the takeaways and the lessons about what he did. I will try to leave a link below the I'll say the whole gamut of what happened, but he flipped his lid when he was a guest on another person's show and he cussed out somebody. He basically, I want to say he was a victim to an advanced trolling opportunity or an op. Just call it an op, an operation, an op. And it's not that I'm, a fan of trolls. It's not that I'm a fan of feeding people, but his actions made things worse, and I honestly think that he could have handled it better. How he flipped out on somebody, and then the people that would smell blood in the water, the proverbial water, or the proverbial blood and proverbial water here, and to sharks looking for opportunities to roast you, and especially somebody who's been able to get some level of notoriety and get his name and his face out there. Well, Jack flipped out, and the if I do not know if the videos or the commentary is true about him. I don't want to say that his personal life or apparent personal life, things that he had been involved with or he might have been interested in. Bear with me, I do not know this, and I'm trying my best to not say it's something he was involved with. But being involved with something that's largely of a tint of anti-masculine behaviors, like being involved with cuckoldry. And this is, I'm going to say, I don't have any proof that this is what happened to him, or that's what he was involved with, but the avalanche of small pieces of information and possible evidence that I cannot put veracity to, but it opened the floodgates, and it's largely hurting him now, even if, making the assumption the stuff's real. Now, I will say this much about the human condition, about men, and obviously count myself among them. It's better if somebody finds the dirty laundry or the skeletons in your closet, whatever you want to call it. It's better to have an open discussion about it and disarm them. There'll be a point in my life that something like that will happen. And I just have to have a simple response and talk about it, or say, hey, that was in the past. Yes, I was involved with it, what have you, blah, 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 blah. All he had to do was say, sure, I enjoy spicy activities. I do such and such. It's like if my neighbor, John Q. Public, was a highly religious man, but like to flog himself wearing women's lingerie. And people got a hold of the pictures, which probably happened to other people, and just come out in the open and say, yeah, I'm in my personal life, I enjoy all sorts of a wide array of activities, and some of them are salacious and unheard of in most circles. And there'll be a point where I guarantee you it might die down. You might have a couple of little people try to get under your skin about it, but there's a point where you're like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. And the lesson about what happened with Jack Murphy is he easily could have, within a couple days, put out an easy press release saying this was during a trying time of my life, or I enjoy a wide array of exciting consensual sexual activities, and just own it. Just whatever words he could relay and say, I own it. I enjoy all sorts of strange things. I'm a passionate man who discovered this about myself years ago. And the thing is, yeah, you're going to have a handful of people that are going to be gnashing and wailing at teeth and saying, oh God, I can't, oh, I can't believe it. Well, then again, when things blow over, you're still going to have some level of respect out of other people who are like, yeah, he's, he owned up to it, man. He's who he is. And that's the thing about you, about me. There's something about you. There's something that I don't claim to be a saint. I don't claim to be a guru. And if you make me out to be a guru, you're mistaken. You're largely mistaken. I'm not saying I wouldn't like for you to send me money, but I don't have a donation box yet. I don't want to be your guru. I really don't. I want you to use these videos and articles and stuff to just think, critical thinking. I want you to make discussions with other people. Have discussions, by the way, not make. Discussions should be already made. It's for you to have them is another story. But just be honest, man. If somebody digs something up, man, what was the saying? Sunshine or the rays of the sun are the best disinfectant. And I joked and said ultraviolet light or infrared or whatever they call it comes off the sun. One of them might give you cancer, but the other one sterilizes your dirty laundry. But anyway, yeah, learn from Jack. You can burn down your own. You can burn down your own kingdom if you end up hiding like that, and people are following you, depending on you, and say you want to be a leader, and these in quotations. You got to learn to deal with that, and you're not the first one who's enjoyed that. We've had admirals, part of the Fat Leonard scandal, and people would like women and prostitutes and go-go girls, naughty, the salacious naughty ones. And the thing is, there's always something behind a great man that riles them up. And um, yes, there's people I've seen in history that, like Karl the First of Austria, who was largely unaffected by that. But I guarantee you, he was passionate about war. Um, Apparently, he liked to. He was he considered was given the option of not using chemical weapons, and his people ended up using chemical weapons. And I imagine he had a passion for trying to win at one time the war. Hell, he was deposed, and then he tried to seize power again, and he failed. But there's something about pride. There's a pride in him. And in Jack, maybe it was, maybe, I'm supposing here. I can't put words in the man's mouth, but, or anything else in his mouth. Yeah. That would, I mean, well, think of it this way. There's something about him. Just put it that way. There's something about everyone. There's something in under your skin. There's something, um, I've met women that were saints they loved, a good rogering. There were, uh, you know, hell, there was women I thought were extremely, just say slutty, I guess you could use that term. And they loved tenderness. They loved romance. And it was the weirdest thing I'd ever heard. I meet guys uh, a guy that I was one of the most, outwardly masculine men I'd ever met in the service. And the dude's, gay. Yeah, he was married to a woman the whole 9 yards. I'd seen some of the women he pulled, and yeah, he found beautiful women. He had it in him. He had this machismo going on, and oh yeah, he's gay. That's not a slur. He ended up with a man. He pulled a Ricky Martin. Hell, the man's nickname was Freaky Martin. You got it in you. You got weird things inside of you too. And some people hide it, some people don't, but the best thing to do when made public is to just own it and say, okay, whatever. And, but when you act like a petulant child or you make a stink about something, it's going to make you look bad. And you know what? That's what Jack Murphy did. And even if it was false and it was deep fakes or stuff like that, um, he could have just said, I believe this to be work of deep fakes or people that are creative editing and things like that, which is easy even for this medium. But Sunlight, owning up to it, not making a stink, and just having an open discussion. Uh, and yeah, it applies to libertarians, conservatives, liberals. It applies to men, women, on occasion, the female viewership that we have. But it it's a learning lesson, and don't bobble the lesson. Learn from somebody else's mistakes. Don't make them yourself. And if I could close, just come out, be open, and say where you screwed up, or just own it. And there's a point where I'm gonna have to own up to things in my past. And you know what? I've had to do it before. I've actually headed off on the pass at some of that stuff and made discussions out of it. So, all right, guys, if you like what you say, or like what I've said, hit the notifications over there, and there's a like button over here somewhere. Obviously, hit a notification there, subscribe, that's the other one. In the description should be a link to the page. Go find something you like, read something, man, and they're short. Most of them are short. Jokes, lessons in history, Navy stories, and whatever. But I also have a Gmail email down there you can use to send hate mail. And if you have any commentary you don't want to leave in the comments, just tell me how much you hate it, and I do appreciate your candor. I'd rather have you give me some actual input how I could improve, and don't tell me I need new technology because I would have to hit up donations for that, which, if you would like to send some money, we'll have to figure out a way. But, hey, please take care of yourself. Um, Live through the lens of liberty, and please take care of yourself, as I just said several seconds ago. See ya.